Hello and welcome to Networking for Introverts. This is going to be a very quick overview looking at the difference between an introvert and an extrovert, what networking is, and how you can build up a strategy to connect with the right people for you and your practice. So first of all, let's look at introversion, extroversion in its very basic terms. This isn't about whether you're shy or whether you're bold. It's more about where you source your energy from. So if you're an extrovert, this means you thrive on the energy of people and things around you. So if you're at a networking event, you're almost gathering up other people's energy and using that to kind of feed you. Whereas if you're an introvert, it means you thrive on spending time on your own with your own thoughts and ideas, and that's how you build your energy, which means that when you go to a networking event, you're actually giving all that energy away, which is why as introverts we can sometimes, however much we've enjoyed an event, we can sometimes feel exhausted afterwards. So what is networking? Well, what it isn't is proposing to someone on a first date. It isn't that kind of one chance opportunity. It's also not about selling. It's also not a personality contest. What it is having conversations, which will lead to building relationships and building trust. It is simply the first time you meet someone. As introverts, we want to conserve our energy and perhaps even avoid the big groups. So what could be better than sitting at home and reaching out to the world with your laptop or your phone? Lockdown has created opportunities which play to introverts' strengths. It's also leveled the playing field because so many people are now working online and they're not going to events where they can be big and brash and bold. So if we look at some of the common introvert traits, we need time alone to recharge and reflect. If we're online, we can network at times and for as long as works best for us. So over breakfast, over a cup of coffee, at the end of your working day. You can just do 5 or 10 minutes. You don't have to worry about being trapped in conversations or being drained of energy. You can pop in and out of them. With virtual conversations, you can even get to the stage where you can blame your technology. Oh, sorry, I couldn't connect, my internet was down. Even with things like Zoom, you can choose to watch, you can turn off the video, and you can write comments and not necessarily speak up. We value one-to-one relationships as introverts. And again, online, we can build relationships slowly and really get to know people and get them to know you. You can see how they interact with others and you can judge their values. Are you aligned? We prefer to think before we speak. We might not be as talkative. And again, online, you don't have to respond immediately so that you have time to think over your answers. You don't have to worry about whether you've got, the whizzy perfect answer to hand. We prefer working in quiet, independent environments. Well, the great thing about online is we don't have to travel or get out of our physical comfort zone. And we can connect to people whilst wearing our comfy slippers and with a cup of tea in our hands. Plus, we're not restricted by geography. Most of this stuff is free. You don't even have to buy a glass of wine. And when we get back to whatever normal will look like and we can meet people face to face, we won't be meeting strangers because we will have already connected online. And honestly, I'm always amazed at the amount of people who have come up to me to begin conversations because they know me online. They have recognized me from my avatar. So how do we get into doing all this? Well, the first thing we need to think about is who is it that you want to meet? It could be other artists, potential clients, art buyers, galleries, etc. It's thinking about who do you want to see your work. Now you may come up with 3 or 4 key who's, if you like, and so you keep those in mind as we go into the next stage. which is the where. Where is your audience? Where do they hang out? So on Instagram, it's great, for instance, for art design, for influencers. LinkedIn is great for corporates if you want to get corporate commissions. Twitter is great for chatter and for news and announcements. WhatsApp, you might find that there are some good WhatsApp groups that provide you with a support network. And virtual events are also excellent places to get to know people, like the tours, curators, talks, etc. Because you can tweet about those or comment on those on social media. You can also connect with people who've been involved with the events, and you've got an excuse to talk to them. I saw your tour and I was really interested in. So it kind of gives you that opening. I've been doing a lot of that during the last few months. And the other thing is that when you start following people, look at who they follow, because you will find more of the same. So then you think about, why is it that you want them to know about you? It could be collaboration, commissions, sales, reputation, raising your profile. This helps you to shape your communications. And remember, you may have 3 or 4 different who's, lots of people you want to meet, audiences you want to meet up with. So you would have a different message for each. So this really helps to shape your communications. Sometimes you might not know exactly why you want to connect with someone. You've just got an instinct. So it's fine to just open up a conversation with them. So then we look at the what. What do we want to say? Well, firstly, remember, it's social media, not broadcast media. So it's not just all about you. It's thinking about how you can help them. Be interested in them. Be supportive of them. Ask questions. Get involved in discussions. Share, like, all these things that engage with the other people. Something, or a couple of things I've been told which are really interesting, is Twitter, they reckon, should only be 25% about yourself. So telling people about what you're doing. The other 75% is about sharing articles, retweeting, getting involved. With Instagram, a great tip there is to keep your feed and your grid about you, so that when someone goes onto it, they can see what your work is. But you can use the stories to share other people's work if you want to. And also it's about engaging in other people's posts, so that you're getting seen that way. LinkedIn, again, it's a great thing in terms of communication and linking. If you like writing, it's also a really good place to put articles or longer form posts where you can explain to people about a particular process or what was the motivation behind a particular piece of work. So if you like writing, LinkedIn is a great one. And with all these things, follow through with direct messages and emails. You get in touch with people on that personal level. And it's always, you can always say, oh, I saw this post and I just wanted to say how much I enjoyed it. It can be, in this particular COVID environment that we're in, just getting in touch and saying, I wanted to connect with you, hope you're well, is perfectly fine way to start at the moment. Now, I've mentioned quite a lot of platforms there. You don't need to be on every one. Work out where the people are that you want to connect with. And if you only want to be on one channel, make it the right one for you, where your audience is and also where you're prepared to show up regularly. Now, all the things I've mentioned will also work in real life when we're allowed to go out and about again freely. Just a couple of thoughts about that. If you don't like going to events where you don't know anyone, this is where you can build the relationships up first. As I said, then you're not meeting strangers, you're meeting people you just haven't seen face to face. And you can also, before going event, find out if someone else you know is going to it and almost make an appointment to meet them there. So that way you're not walking into a completely strange room. You have another reason to be there. So, just to recap, Know who you want to meet and why. Show up and be visible in a way that works for you. And be consistent. I hope that was helpful. And if you want to connect with me, here are the links to all my socials. Thank you for listening.